Yo, this boycott might be the wake-up call that Asian people really needed. Hear me out. Everybody worried about how this boycott is going to hurt Asian businesses, but I'm more interested in what this boycott is going to make us become. Let's be real. Most of us are operating on formulas that were built 30, 40, 50, 60 years ago by our parents and grandparents. Shit not the same no more. The world changed since then. Technology changed. Communication changed. Man, everything changed. The only thing that ain't really changed is our systems. And here's another thing. Most other people look at Asians like we all the same, but that could be farthest from the truth. Because Asians as a whole is actually divided as fuck. Chinese, Vietnamese, Korean, Japanese, Cambodian, Thai, Filipino. Those are all people from different countries. We completely different people. But in America, everybody looks at us like we're the same. So this boycott ain't just going to affect one group of Asians. It's going to affect Asians collectively in America. And history has shown when pressure is applied to different groups of people at the same time, it has a way of making us realize that we got more in common than we actually thought. So could this boycott hurt many Asian businesses? You damn right. But could it also wake the Asian people up in a way that we never saw before? Absolutely. It could make us rethink how we operate and come up with new formulas instead of relying on old ones. It could make younger Asians start stepping up in a way that Asians ain't never stepped up before. Because one thing we Asians have always been good at is adapting. When times get hard, we adjust. When old opportunities disappear, we make new ones. When doors close, we build our own. So the question shouldn't be, what if the boycott hurts Asians? The question should be, what if this boycott wakes us the fuck up?
I support the economic boycott that the Black community has been calling for against Asian-owned businesses. And here's why. You should never spend your time and energy in people that don't see you as humans. That if you went into their store, you would fear for your life. So let me give you an example. Anytime I want to eat Mediterranean food, I've learned that Mediterranean is a very loose term for a region that's currently being colonized. I'll call the restaurant and just straight up ask, is this restaurant owned by an Israeli person? And or is the head chef an Israeli person? If they say yes, I say, well, that's unfortunate because I cannot support a restaurant that supports genocide in an apartheid state. And not only that, I'm going to put your name on a list that I started in 2023, which is just my Excel spreadsheet, with other friends who also don't support Zionist institutions. And also on a tangent, like, what is Israeli food? These are the lengths that I am willing to go through in not supporting a business that doesn't see every human with dignity. We should already be boycotting corporations. Like, for example, Hyundai, which is a Korean company, their bulldozers are currently tearing down homes in the West Bank of occupied Palestine. So they're displacing the indigenous people. We should be boycotting, or at the very least, not buying the latest iPhone every year because Apple is illegally mining cobalt and coltan in the Democratic Republic of the Congo and using slave labor to dig out those minerals.
The biggest problem with content creation it's not that coming up with topics or writing the script or messaging people that you want to work with or even message, brands that you want to work with. It's how do you make your content easily understandable for the fucking artards on the internet? The people that watch your content and understand what you're trying to say, they generally, okay, they like the video, they may not leave a comment and they move on. But the people that don't fucking understand the basic language, the basic English that I am fucking speaking, that is something I generally have no control over. And it's so hard to deal with. It's either people are disingenuous and trying to misinterpret what you're trying to say, or their English skill is so fucking poor, they can't even understand sixth grade English. And yes, I am admitting this. The thing I use AI for, it's not that to help me write scripts or to whatever. It's actually helped me to dumb down the things I want to say so more people can understand. The whole black people want to boycott like Asian stuff. I don't care. I really don't. You want to boycott? Go for it. That's your right as a human being. You want to say whatever you want to say in my comments? Go ahead. That's your right. I keep saying the things that the two black girls did is unacceptable. Just because you're upset with one single person, right? You're bringing in innocent people that has nothing to do with this, calling their restaurant, ordering a bunch of food, and then never going to pick it up. Just don't go to the salons or restaurants or, I don't know, clothes wash, whatever. That's all you don't have to go hurt those businesses. When you do something like that, it's actually not helping your cause.
If Black folks boycotting Asian businesses is what it takes to fast track Asian folks into deconstructing their internalized white supremacy and anti-Blackness, so be it. Boycott. I didn't apologize to the Black community in my video yesterday so that y'all would magically trust me or forgive Asian people suddenly. I apologized to hold my people accountable because the Asian community owes an apology and the Black community deserves to receive an apology. Is it enough? No. But is it one grain of rice in the direction of repair? I believe so. Trust can only be rebuilt through action, so I will continue educating Asian folks in my life, both online and in real life, to deconstruct the internalized white supremacy and anti-Blackness, because Black folks are some of the most soulful, caring people I know, and y'all deserve better.
Asians said Black Americans cannot do without them. They said Black Americans cannot wear Nikes, they cannot wear makeup, they cannot do this, they cannot even do their common nails if eventually Black Americans decide to boycott Asian in America. Look at the stores. Asian stores are empty. Their stores are empty. Black Americans are not opening their stores. They're not spending their dollar within the Black community. Why do you think it is impossible to do something? I don't know. Now Asians are crying bitterly. Asians are saying they don't have anything to rely on because a lot of them rely on nail tech, salon shops, stores in America. Now Black Americans are taking everything back. They're not destroying their properties. They're just saying we are no longer spending our dollar there. We are going to be spending it in the Black community. They never even start. Asians are crying already. Don't ever underestimate the power of any ethnicity, honestly. Follow for more, Jerry.
Hey y'all, Miss B back again at another beauty supply store. And listen, I'm seeing all these sales. I saw 50% off, 75% off. And why is that? Because we are not up in there, y'all. I walked through this gigantic beauty supply store and the aisles were empty on a Saturday. We are doing it, y'all. Now, one thing I did notice though is that I saw a few Black men in this store, which I was surprised by, but I know that y'all need your wave caps and your wave brushes and your clippers and all of that. I would only ask, please, let's all lock in. There are Black owned beauty supply stores in most areas. So guys, let's get on this. I know that y'all were concerned about whether or not the women were going to follow through, and we are following through, y'all. So we need everybody to lock into this transfer of wealth, this blackout. We got this, y'all. We are doing it and we need to do it together. So I love y'all. We are doing this thing and I'm so proud.
Yesterday, when I made the post regarding people should not be boycotting Asian business, I did not know what the situation was for until later. Come to find out, an Asian man was not guilty for shooting a Black teenager kid, and that's why the Black folks are mad and they are boycotting Asian business. I see where you're coming from, though. I feel your pain, and I'm so sorry for the tragic that you had to go through. But when I hear the fact that you are going to boycott Asian business, that caught me off guard. And let me tell you why. Is because when you say you are boycotting Asian business, that's a big statement. Like, you know, Asian comes in different areas like Laos, Cambodia, Vietnamese, Japan, Korea, China, India. So when you say you're going to boycott the Asian businesses, that's all of them. But the fact that we didn't do anything to y'all, that's why I'm tripping about. That's it. Not that we're not feeling sorry for the situation. It's just, I know it was a Chinese man who shot the kid, but one man's crime cannot affect the whole community. You see what I'm saying? Like, that's why I was caught off guard, because I'm Asian. And when you say you're going to boycott Asian, that's like involve all of us. And some of us be like, what the hell did we do? We didn't do anything. We knew the situation, but we feel for the situation, but we didn't do anything. That's why I made that video. You see what I'm saying? not trying to not have no empathy or sympathy about the situation. I feel bad. But it's kind of hard to boycott the Asian community because it's like, it's everywhere. You see what I'm saying? So, with that being said, we need to stop this racism stuff, man. We need to love each other more. We need to really embrace each other's differences and just work it out. And at the end of the day, we need God. That's what we need.
Majority of the Asian business community is extremely exploitative and racist towards black people.
Okay, let's address this. My initial reaction to this was one of defensiveness and anger, and I'm sure many of you guys felt the same. But we should not disregard some very valid points that this creator makes. We do have a problem with anti-blackness and colorism within our community. We see that with the discord between ethnic groups within our own community, and that translates out to how some of us treat people with darker skin outside of our community as well. Obviously, it's not all of us because we're not a racial monolith, but I have seen it and I know you have seen it too. I think we tend to tense up when we hear other people calling out our community for racial prejudice. It's natural to feel defensive because the majority of us are not actively trying to hurt other people. But I think we have to understand that as human beings, we all have some sort of racial prejudice towards others. We're born into a racist society. We have had racist stereotypes hammered into us since birth. But we really need to make a good effort to listen, because if we don't listen, we can't be better for our own community and we can't be better allies. I have more to say in part 2.
Yes, this is really important. Asian Americans were redlined from opening businesses in white neighborhoods because white people didn't want Asian Americans operating in their neighborhoods and didn't want Asian Americans profiting off of white people. But because the positionality of Asian Americans is weaponized to oppress black people, Asian Americans were being given loans to open businesses in black communities, even though black people were not able to receive loans to open businesses in their own communities. And as I've said before, as a result of this, black wealth is essentially paid out twice when it goes to Asian American businesses. Once when the individual pays for the goods or services, and then again when the Asian American business owner removes the profit from the community. Because usually people open businesses in their own communities, and this is mutually beneficial, where the business owner is making a livelihood off of providing goods and services to their community, and by being a member of the community, they're contributing and they're investing back into the community. This is an ideal situation, and that is not what happens with Asian American businesses operating in black communities.
I really want you guys to watch this video.
You don't go into a black neighborhood without seeing Asian businesses or restaurants or liquor store owners, and vice versa. You don't go into Asian neighborhoods without seeing black customers and black clients that keep our businesses alive. And
you don't go into the black community without seeing Asian businesses and restaurant and liquor store owners. But you don't go into the Asian community without seeing black customers and clients. Do you see the problem there? In just 15 seconds, not only did she show the problem between the black and Asian community, but she shows the problem of the black community and our continuous allowance of us to let other people come in and economically exploit us, and for other people to see and benefit from our economic viability. Everyone but us benefits. Not only is economic exploitation horrible enough, it gets worse than that. They come into our communities and they're very anti-black, and they treat our people disrespectfully, and oftentimes it has led to them taking black lives. This happened in 1991. This happened in 2023. This is a 30-year period, and the exact same things are happening. Something is immensely wrong as to why we have still allowed this to continue. The fact that we know how horribly we are treated by these business owners and their communities in our own community, and yet we have still somehow allowed them to be economically benefiting from us, is insanity. And the craziest part of it all is that none of these communities, whether it's Asian, Arabic, or even Palestinian, yes, are bringing in businesses that can benefit us, or that are necessary, are vital to our well-being. We don't need Chinese food to survive. So there's no point of us supporting them. We don't need our nails done to survive. We don't need liquor stores and drugs and horrible food that they're selling us. So the fact that they're able to still have economic viability in our communities is insane. They aren't bringing in hospitals to our communities. They're not bringing in grocery stores to our communities. There is no advantage of Black people allowing Asian businesses, Arabic, Palestinian businesses in our community. We're not even bringing in businesses that are selling products and goods that we could go and resell later that have some type of resale value. So it just is so preposterous that this is continuing to happen. And just if you thought it couldn't get any more silly, in 2020, they came out with Stop Asian Hate. Suggest that Black people were committing crimes against Asians. But if we're the ones who hated them, how are they allowed to open up businesses in our communities, and yet we aren't allowed to open businesses in their community? Black people are the ones who helped them get that crime bill passed.
I haven't been to an Asian beauty supply store since Stop Asian Hate. And I know what y'all about to say. Oh, it's not all Asian people, right? But in my experience, living where I live, Asian stores have been anti-Black and racist towards Black people, and that's not a what if, that's a fact. I've literally experienced it. I've experienced being followed around. I experienced being stared at and looked at weird and rushed. I've experienced those things, so I haven't been supporting Asian businesses since then. Okay, it wasn't hard for me to stop going to Target because I really didn't go anyway, but Walmart, it was kind of hard because I used to go all the time, but I stopped going to Walmart. So if I could stop going to Walmart, y'all can stop going to Walmart. What else? Yeah, that's been my way of protesting, boycotting, and spending my money in places where it better serves me. And I've just been mostly buying groceries and cooking things. I've been in an Asian restaurant probably twice since that Stop Asian Hate thing, and that wasn't of my own free. Wasn't it? You know what I'm saying? Like, it was somebody else that wanted to go in there. So that's what I'm saying. That's my way of doing it. Y'all can respect it, y'all can't respect it. Again, I'm not saying it's all Asian people that do these things, but from what I'm seeing, from my perspective, it's a good chunk. So that's what I'm doing.
And I asked them, I said, should we boycott Asian shops? Is that what we should do? And every one of them said yes. Yes. Because how are Black people supposed to mobilize if they're in our communities? It's not no Asian hating. It's about economics and why Black people can't keep their Black money within their community. So when you go to your corner shops and, you know, the food stop that they sell, right? They sell our food. They go to the corner shops. They have chicken shops lined up in our thing. It's all going back into their community. How is it coming back into ours? We have to boycott them. We don't want to, but we have to boycott them to keep it within our community. Otherwise, how are we going to progress? Right? I can't do it on my own. I need Black people to help me. And I also said as well, I said, Black people, you need to take time with Black businesses as well.
Yeah. What you need to do, it's not even about boycott the Asian shop. It's like, buy Black. That's all your message is. No, buy Black.
The reason why I disagree with that, sorry to cut you.
No, go on.
The reason why I disagree with that is because when you say buy Black, we still are about convenience until we get out of that mindset to strictly go and buy Black. You have to give Black people options. If I don't give them options, what they're going to do, they're going to fall back into the cycle. You have to get, and this is what I'm saying, like when I said boycott the Asian shops, it's because they're literally in every single community.
As you said, give the alternatives. So you can say, the only reason I'm saying, because I think getting tied up into a culture war also isn't helpful for us, because we just look like the aggressors or something. No. I'm not saying don't call it out. I think there's a conversation that needs to, I definitely think there's a conversation.
The Asian community needs some serious self-reflection when it comes to racism. As you guys probably know, I moved to London 2 months ago. I live in a pretty affluent area, and let me tell you this, so far I have not seen a single Asian girl or a gay guy holding hands with a Black or brown person on the street or at school. In fact, almost all of them were with white dudes. A few days ago, I matched with someone from Bangladesh on a dating app. He's incredibly smart and humorous. He graduated from Imperial College, which is like one of the best universities in the world, and he's got a good paying job in technology. However, to my surprise, after we matched, his opening line was, "Thank you for liking me back. I'm aware that I may not be your preferred ethnicity, but I decided to shoot my shot anyways." At that very moment, I felt like all the dots were connecting. Why are so many Asian people actively discriminating against others with a darker color of skin, especially in the context of dating? By the way, I'm very fed up with excuses like race is highly correlated with socioeconomic status. Well, In London, which is very racially diverse, by the way, there are so many super accomplished black and brown people in banking and technology. And my observation is that many Asian girls and gay guys would rather choose a white guy with mediocre salary. My message to the Asian community is very simple. Whitewashing yourself is pathetic. Don't do it.
While we're on that topic, right? Like, I'm speaking to black people. So when you see Asian people in your comment sections and they're like, yeah, that part of the Asian community are the ones who are anti-black. My community is not like that at all. They're fucking lying to you. Okay? There's anti-blackness in the East Asian community, the Southeast Asian community, the Central Asian community, the West Asian community, the North Asian community, and the South Asian communities, okay? And the people who are pointing fingers at the other people are the type of people who refuse to acknowledge it and unpack it within themselves. Like, they don't know how to look within themselves and be like, look, it's our entire community, not just like that part of the community. And it's really annoying, it's really annoying. So if you guys want more tea, let me know.
Yes, this is really important. Asian Americans were redlined from opening businesses in white neighborhoods because white people didn't want Asian Americans operating in their neighborhoods and didn't want Asian Americans profiting off of white people. But because the positionality of Asian Americans is weaponized to oppress black people, Asian Americans were being given loans to open businesses in black communities, even though black people were not able to receive loans to open businesses in their own communities. And as I've said before, as a result of this, black wealth is essentially paid out twice when it goes to Asian American businesses. Once when the individual pays for the goods or services, and then again when the Asian American business owner removes the profit from the community. Because usually people open businesses in their own communities, and this is mutually beneficial, where the business owner is making a livelihood off of providing goods and services to their community. And by being a member of the community, they're contributing and they're investing back into the community. This is an ideal situation, and that is not what happens with Asian American businesses operating in black communities.
So you're telling me 14-year-old Cyrus Carmack Belton walks into a convenience store, picks up 4 bottles of water, puts it back in the cooler, but because he's a young black boy with a backpack, he's instantly racially profiled and flagged for stealing? He just got off on murdering a 14-year-old boy over something he didn't even fucking do. Over something he did not even fucking do. They didn't bring none of the shit that they should have brought on trial. He just gets to walk free. Defense of others. How the fuck do you claim defense of others when you chasing a motherfucker who did nothing? You chasing a boy. He didn't steal anything from your shop. This is why I am so black unity only. I don't give a fuck about no Asians. I don't give a fuck about no Mexicans. I don't give a fuck about white people. I don't give a fuck about no Arabs. I don't give a fuck about these Indians. I don't give a fuck about none of them. I don't support these motherfuckers. If I can help it, I am not supporting these motherfuckers. I'm not buying shit from these motherfuckers. Like, I don't give a I'm not going in your shops. Like, we giving them all our money and then they still kill our people? Nah. Fuck them. Fuck them. Fuck them.
See, I had already started doing it, but it's time, black folk. It's time. We know for a fact that this particular group of people would probably have to pack their bags and go back to their goddamn house if we didn't shop with them. Let's go and do it. I already started doing it a few years ago. I'm gonna be honest. Once I moved out toward the West Coast and actually met them, I said, shit, I got a chance to make money off of them because of my license and my profession. But I ain't giving them shit else. I think we need to stop.
That some of the Asian community, especially the ones with the restaurants, hair stores, and businesses, are actually aggressive, are naturally violent towards the black community. And they specifically have all of their businesses in our neighborhoods because the white demographic will not allow them to integrate and take over their spaces. And this has happened since Jim Crow. since they were able to come over here and get these specific visas. And I'm not saying everybody, but what I am saying is that every single Asian, Korean, beauty store, convenience store, liquor store, anything that they've ever had, restaurant, whenever I have walked in there, nail shop, I have always been profiled, I have always been followed around, and I have always been deemed the aggressor, but I've never been treated with kindness, I've never been treated with respect, and I never have been valued. That is the issue. Rick Chow never valued Cyrus's life. There was no way of them knowing that he had anything on his person until he left that day. And a lot of people keep saying that he stole and it was over $1. It was over absolutely nothing. And what point in society are we going to say that no one regards Black life the way that Black people do? No one sees us as humans. They still see us as animals, and we are treated as such. And these are things that they are putting in their own kids, putting batteries in their kids' backs. And they are teaching their children to shoot to kill us first before we ever can do anything about it. And like I said, I'm not saying all, but there is a lot.
Okay, so far so good. I think you've gotten the message, right? Black businesses now are booming, Asians now are recruiting. Look, I feel bad for the Asians right now. I actually feel bad for them because not only is there a push for this to be permanent, but these families, the Asian families, are gonna go really bankrupt and they're not gonna make money. There's one thing I know about Black people, right? Once one of them realized that you're trying to intimidate another person, and they realize that something like this can happen to them as well, they will take it up on their heads. They're going to take it like their own personal problems. And that's exactly what is happening today. That's exactly what is happening. And so far so good. It's not like all Asians should suffer for this. I'm always saying this. It's not like all Asians should suffer for this. The point I'm just trying to make here is this. First and foremost, right? They should try to sensitize their people about Black culture and the respect for Black people. They should truly sensitize people, because for the longest period of time you can't keep telling me that these people haven't known about Black culture. It's like they are taking advantage of us, our people, and the fact that we're actually purchasing their goods. Now I'm even noticing that some of these people are trying to make it seem like some Black people are support for it, some other Black people are not in support of it. I think their motive here is just to cause conflict between Black people. I've noticed some Asian American come online and say that even Blacks that are not originally American Blacks are also creating videos and talking about things like this. Why shouldn't we talk about it? Why shouldn't we talk about it? Is this skin color not familiar to you? Because the same thing that is going to happen to my brother or sister is the same thing that is going to happen to another person. These experiences have caused this outrage because different people in different places, different states have experienced the same thing. It's not just a certain state that is complaining about this. If you see Blacks rallying out in different states, it actually means that they have been going through this thing for the longest period of time. Now, I want to also make this clear. As much as we Blacks are trying to push the narrative of we want to boycott Asian businesses, we also need to start our own businesses. I want to see Black people promote their business. I mean, if you have a business, try to leave it in the comment section. Let's see if our own people can actually reach out to you, make things happen, make that Black dollar remain among us. We want to create our own billionaires. We want money to circulate within our own people. Look, one thing I know about Asians is that they are very smart. They are very, very smart people, right? They know very well that Blacks are the highest consumers of their products, so they actually open up their shops in areas that Blacks will easily access. But what's happening now is supposed to be different. It's supposed to be very, very different. Now, so far so good. I think a lot of people have asked me the question, what is the solution for this? What is actually the solution for all this? Now, first things first, Asians, please try to educate your people about Black history, Black culture, and everything like that. We fully acknowledge and are aware that not every one of you is like this, but sensitization will go a long way. Things like this will not repeat itself, right? The second thing is, I think we Blacks have realized that these people are out here to use us. So what can we do? We have to set up our own institutions. We have to set up our own businesses. We have to promote our own. We have to make sure that that happens. And to be honest, if you actually experience this, speak up. Don't wait until it gets to a certain point. Speak up. Speak up. Because that kid that was his life was taken away wasn't by chance. It's because he was actually racially profiled. And the final thing I would like to say is that the moment Asians and Black people realize that the system is working against us, it's going to be better. The moment we realize that most of us have similar cultures, most of us are fighting white supremacy, it's going to be way better for both of us. But again, we're still fighting with each other. They're keeping us distracted with the race war. They're keeping us... Why? Why? If we can both sensitize our people about Asian culture, Black culture, how to respect each other, how to grow with each other. I know at some point right now, the water is overflowing because Black people have had it up to their limit, right? I know that no one wants to actually patronize, but I think at some point it's going to calm down, and especially it's going to calm down if the Asian people start talking about Black culture, start sensitizing, which I'm starting to see them do, and it's a good thing. But we have to actually analyze and acknowledge the fact that we're fighting each other and it's not helping. Blacks actually use Asian products the most, right? And we have to realize that the moment we start collaborating and making things happen, it's only gonna get better. Another thing just came to my mind. I also noticed that have you also noticed that when you go into an Asian store, if it's an Asian person coming, a white person, the things are kind of slightly cheaper. I don't know if I'm the one, but you let me know about this. You let me know. So all these practices and all these have to stop. If they don't stop, then it's not helping anyone. So far, it's not. Thank you for watching this video. Please do want to share this video, give this video a like, and I'll see you in another one, guys.